Good morning. Can you please confirm? Am I audible? Good morning to all of you. Kindly confirm, am I audible? Good morning. So, I'm audible, beta? My voice is clear? Please confirm yes if it is audible. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, today we are going to cover more on stores and how the accounting happens. So, I think last class we have done up to here issue of material to other formations. So again, we go back to the same example of where we have learned about the Hero Honda store as our example. So there is a centralized store, and then there are each departments or units which draw from the centralized store. And there is a possibility that the stores are diverted from one store, from one department to other department. Okay. So they are issued very clearly within the system of receipt. So there is a requisition. Who issues this? The intending store. They are classified as interdivisional stores withdrawals. So within one department to another department, if materials are transferred, they are called as interdivisional stores. Okay, so let us say the paint shop transfers the material to welding shop rather than transferring to the centralized store. So there are two kind of notes being prepared. One is for interdivisional and one is with the stores. So when a paint shop transfers to a welding shop or vice versa, then the company or the storekeeper has to prepare interdivisional transfer note. Okay. Also, they are accounted in the same month to avoid administrative and accounting difficulties. So very clearly, you have to account on every whenever there is a transfer. Okay, these issues are charged to intermediary suspense. Just note that this suspense account is not a normal account. Okay, so suspense account is only for theoretical. When we do practical, whenever you go to any company, please note that practically there is no use of, don't use the word suspense. Okay? Why? Because suspense means a dangerous account in practical such situations. This is only for theoretical calculations because the storekeeper will then clear the suspense. So at the end of the period, the suspense account gets zero. In order to enable the accounts officer to correctly value the stores, right, which is the credit and the debit. So what is essential is that they should be given in the devolution that where they have transferred. So the number, the date, and the original requisition also will help at what basis the accounting should be done. each devolution means transfer, should have the following information: quantity drawn, quantity issued, in case there is any surplus, and the explanation for excess. So this is very essential for the preparation. Now, what may happen is that in various situations, the contractors may also be given materials. Now, what are those situations? Situations can be, for example, there is a welding which is not available in your, your factory, or there is any specialized work, right? Which is very small work, which is where there are people who are specialized agencies outside, right? So we don't have that specialization. So then what they do is they issue the material in those situations to those contractors. So for example, if you go to a suit stitching shop, a tailor, he may say that, this is some special work where I have to give it to an outsider who will do it for me, and then I will complete the activity. Okay. So there are materials issued very clearly. There are terms and conditions of what is to be done, when is to be done, what is the price, etc., etc. So plus you also have to charge the amount, because when you're giving to a contractor, definitely you should not be paying it from your own pocket. So whatever is being charged is added to your costing also. Such issues to contractors should be regulated. So there has to be a regulation, right? So for example, the receipts of transport notes, that also needs to be regulated. Preparation of contractor bills, the issues will be valued at the agreement rates and shown as deductions, your payments, right? So plus the rate also needs to be accounted for. Now, what happens is when you give it to your employees, your officers, your staff, so then in those situations, you have to account for it, you have to book for it. You may give a discount, but then whatever it is, that has to be accounted also. And there has to be an approval also, because mostly they will be at a discounted rate. So there has to be a proper approval and authorization. When the material are to be disposed, which means they are to be they are material which are not used, right? So for example, there may be a situation that the model is discontinued, right? So in those situations, you will have to write off. And how do you write off? First, you take an approval of the right authority that this is the amount because this material is no longer in use. And then, that should be in writing, whatever is the deficiency or depreciation or loss. And then they should be accounted for, plus they should be disposed also, right? Technically speaking, if it is a normal routine, so then there is a committee also, committee who will check whether the materials are really disposed of or they can be held for some other purpose. So there has to be a proper guidelines, and with the approval of stores manager, only then the approvals are given and only then the accounting happens. Okay, so let's move on. So as I mentioned to you, there has to be a committee examined by a committee who has to take right call, should take into account the life period, and should check whether the material is actually to be disposed or not. And in case there are any corrections to be done, so there is a possibility that the loss is due to normal wear and tear, or it is due to fire, floods, or due to insects, rats, etc. So wherever it is, you take protection for the future and clear them so that you don't, have to expense. You don't have to, carry this material, because if the material has lost its value, there is no point in keeping it. So they have to be declared as obsolete or unserviceable, and then which committee is done? The condemnation committee. So there may be a question as to which committee is responsible for declaring the items as unserviceable or obsolete. Answer is condemnation committee. And how this happens is on the recommendation of committee, the head of department shall forward a copy to store manager with a copy of store purchase section also. So there are questions which can come only in this line. Who recommends, how many details are given, and so on, and where this is adjusted. So loss of gains to stock account. Okay, so they have, I think last class also we covered NCS, LTAs, consumables. So what are NCS, what are LTAs? I have asked you some questions also. So definitely this is an important area for your questions perspective. Please note, one or two questions may come as far as this chapter is concerned. Okay, so we are moving to sales accounting. Are there any questions from anyone in regard to store accounting? If yes, please ask. Are there any questions in relation to stores accounting? If no, also please confirm. Kindly confirm yes or no if there are questions or no questions. Clear. Thank you. Okay. Is this possible for you to also give your names? Because when I read this, it tells me anonymous. So I'm sure in your details, somewhere down the line, you can mention your names. So if you can mention a name so that it becomes easier for me to understand also. Okay. Chaliye, I'm moving on to sales accounting. So what is sales accounting and how the companies books the revenue? Revenue is one of the very most essential item. Okay. So revenue from sale. So for example, there is a merchandise and you are selling it. That will be sale of goods. Similarly, there can be due to services also. So you are performing some work and basis which you have earned some income. So that is from rendering services. So there are two types of revenues, sale and services. Okay. So for example, this is a bank or a agency. Now in a bank or agency, what happens is that you are technically booking the loans or advances, or this is a commission. So this is how a bank or a finance company will book their revenue. Or this can be a construction company also, right? So based on hiring of resources, so they earn of their income by rentals, right? So they will have different things. So most of them will be following AS9, which is used in India. However, just to tell you that there are two standards more. One is the IFRS standards, and other is this is used internationally. And IFRS equivalent is India standard. So in India, bigger companies who are either listed or their net worth is above 250 crores, they are following Ind AS, right? So those companies will not follow AS9, they will follow Ind AS 5, which is on revenue. So which companies will follow? So those companies which are listed or they are net worth above 250 crores. So AS9 will be applicable to companies which are not in this category, while companies which are in this category will have to follow the Ind AS 115. Okay. Sure. So which are the basic concepts? One is realization concept, which is basically means that revenue is booked when it is realized. Similarly, there is an accrual concept, which means that revenue has to be accrued based on whenever the revenue is earned. Okay. So realization is, now this is an example here. Credit sales is accounted as long as the transfer of property is transferred. So it is not waiting for cash to be collected. So at the time of sale and not at the time of receipt. So cash is not important. Realization means that you have performed the activity and the other party is bound to pay that. Okay. So that is what it means. And similarly, accrual also is it has become due. It may not have been received, but it has become due and it has to be accounted for. So let's say if I am being paid by the institute, okay, based on classes, and if I'm able to perform my duty, complete the classes on time, then my accounting should tell me that yes, I need to book the accounts. So also the important dimension to any of the accounting is that it has to be true and fair. Finance auditors also give a statement of true and fair, okay, and maintained on approval basis. So in India, the accounts are required to be maintained on approval basis. So every organization, unless it is a very, very small organization, will have to account for basis approval accounting. Okay, Shali, any questions up to now? According, Vineet, good question. According to the study material, the word store is related to a store of a factory or a normal grocery shop or any supermarket. Well, when we do an inventory accounting, the store accounting, it is generally related to a factory. Generally, it is not related to supermarket because supermarket or a grocery shop are storing the material not as a store but as a retail counter. So in the accounting, when we do, it is assumed that it is related to a factory where the inventory has to be accounted for. It may not be a factory. Okay? So for example, power manufacturing company, let us say NTPC or NHPC, which has a power plant. Now that plant may not be a factory, but if they are maintaining an operations with a store, then it has to be that also. So you have to see from the perspective of the organization. So clearly, it is not necessary, it is a manufacturing unit, but since it is using a store, that is what it means. Similarly, there can be a possibility that the organization is a service center. For example, there is, a Maruti spare workshop. So if you are using the workshop, then definitely there is a chance that you are actually having a store. So that is how we use it. Now moving on, accounting for cash sales and credit sales. So we have to understand the difference between them. So cash sales is first the cash is given, while credit sales is where you are giving the where the sale is happening based on certain credit lines, right? So you are allowing somebody to pay later on. That is what credit means. So how do we account for it and what is done? So, and then there are questions also. So when a cash sale is made, cash memo is prepared, right? And this is how a cash memo looks like. Okay, so cash sales may, there is a cash memo. It has to be serially numbered. It is also termed as cash bill. Now, remember, there may be questions in regard to cash in memos, cash bills. Okay, and when the cash is received, then there is a stamp also that cash is received. And normally cash memo is prepared in triplicate. Now this is very important thing. You can see some questions also that cash memos are prepared with 3 copies, with 5 copies, with 6 copies, or 2 copies. Choose the right answer. So answer is 3. Okay, it is said it is a triplicate. Okay. And basis which the accounting happens. So you are debiting your cash, you receive money, and crediting sales. So this actually should be here. So there are some small mistakes. The books also. So cash is a real account, debit what comes in. Sales is not a real account. It is a which account? Real personal nominal. It's a nominal account. And here the rule is income or gains or credit. So this is how the rule happens. Okay, so I'm sure you are aware of all these things, but let's move on. So this is where the sales accounting happens. So when you book a sale in the name of the customer, so books of, let us say you're giving a sale to A account. So A is debited and to sales this much. Okay, so let us now do one illustration. Goods sold to cash 4,590 will come here. Ramesh brought good from us, so it's a purchase. Since we are maintaining just the it is not detailed that it is cash or not, so this will not come in cash book. So this might come in other book. So we are not recording this. Then there is Raviraj on credit. Again, this is not a cash book, so we book another entry on cash. We will not book this on cash. Sold an old telephone. Yes, this is a cash book. This will come here. Cash sales to Helen. Yes, this will come here. Priya paid cash. Yes, this will come here. And Raviraj cash received. This will come here. So we have not recorded 2 entries here. One, this one. Why? Because we don't know that he has paid cash or not. And secondly, it is very clearly mentioned this because he has taken on credit. So when we make a sales book, then we will enter these entries, but not in cash book. Is this question clear? Any questions up to now from anyone? Please confirm, are there any questions up to now or we can move ahead? Are we all okay up to now or are there any questions? Kindly confirm. For cash or credit, is it true? You have to explain the question. I'm not sure. The data of store account is kept for how many years? Okay, these are very good question. The minimum data which you should keep for stores is uh, for 5 years. So that is where you have to understand the perspective. So clearly it is for 5 years. Why cash memo is prepared in triplicate? Very good question. I think Vineet, it is for 5 years. If you see the book, the answers are in the answers only that why it is in triplicate. So let me show you again why it is in triplicate. Because it is given to three people. Okay. So one, it is kept as a record. One, it is delivered to the customer. Okay. So one, it is kept as a record. One, it is delivered to the customer. And third is for your stores copy. Because store is also one is accounts copy, one is store copy, and one is to the customer. So typically it is three copies which are prepared. Okay, so इसलिए that is why we can see it is for 3 years. Okay, good question, very good question. Any further question? All clear, Prince. Thank you. Billing book only one maintain. You see, uh, it all depends from organization to organization. There is no rule. Whatever is suitable. So when we teach that this is a separate book. So if the organization has long cash sales, they will make a cash sale book separate. If the organization has long, credit sales, they will maintain a credit sales book. If they have both, then both will be maintained. So it all depends because ultimately at the end of the day, what matters is how the organization is, really picking it up. It all depends on the convenience of the organization. That is how this is being done. Okay. Any other question, please? Okay. So people are saying it is clear, so I'm moving on. Let me move further. How to account for credit sales? So when you are making a credit sales, again, it is in triplicate. So like cash, we also have this as triplicate also. So this is a very good question. So please note, most of the time this is asked in the exams also. How many copies are prepared? So here it is also mentioned. So prepared in triplicate, one copy is given to customer, second copy is acknowledged, which is a proof that he has received the material, and third copy for accounting. So one for stores, one for customer, and one for accounts. Okay. So when there is a credit invoice, idea is to track the receivable that because you are giving a credit, you are actually going to take money after some period of time. So you need to have records with you. So these are generally also termed as tax invoice. So there may be a question, which is tax invoice, sales invoice, credit invoice, cash memo, or any other invoice, right? So very clearly your credit sales is what we call it as tax invoice. Okay, so this is an example of your tax invoice. So your company name, your address, your city or your PIN code. Zip code here means PIN code. Okay, mostly worldwide it is zip, so that is how they have put in. And in case it is shipped, in case it is FOB, FOB means free on board. So when you are exporting or importing, your FOB word is used. This is which you add, and this is your total due. And since it is a credit invoice, you have a credit period also. This is how a sample of normal invoice. Okay, so when we sell it on credit, we debit customer, credit sales, and when we receive money, we credit your cash or bank and credit customer. So this is how the accounting is done. And ledgers, we all know that it goes to sales account. So whatever was sale is entered here. Whatever is that person, the customer, when we book it to sales, to debit it, and when we pays, we credit. Okay. So it has to be a number, very important. And without number, GST will also not allow. So it is very essential that whenever you, so just a small correction here that when we book a sales, there has to be a GST also details. So it has to be GST numbered. All the details will be entered along with GST details when we put a invoice. Okay. So because in India there is no GST, so your sales must have the GST inputs also. Okay. Sure. Let's move on. Any questions up to now? So cash sales, credit sales. So when we have a credit sales, cash sales are excluded because cash sale is separate. So this is a sales invoice, details. This is the ledger. So question for you. Say sold goods to Kamal for cash. Which book you will enter? Answer is, since you are selling for cash, it is cash book. Ramesh bought goods from us, again a sale. But here it is not cash, here is just the name. So it is credit sales, which means sales book. Old furniture, generally it is booked in a general book, sales. Cash sales made to customer, so cash book. And sold goods to Ravi. Again, Ravi is mentioned, cash is not mentioned, so we'll go sales. So these are a few answers. And questions may also come like this. Which book is used? Any questions up to now? So, Lara Robert, you have mentioned it is clear, very nice. Anybody having any question up to now, please mention. Any questions up to now, please answer, ask. Please note, please put a note forward. Even if there are no questions, please mention all is clear. Okay. If there are no questions, let me move forward. Okay, so now this is illustration where invoice number one, you have these sales entered. 10 into 399 is 3990, right? Again, this is not fully entered, so there is a mistake here. On credit and lay, so whatever is detailed is entered here. And sold to Nest, whatever is detailed. Straight discount, we will not account for it, right? So we will also account for whatever is the entry, we will take it net off. So we don't separate, reduce that, we net it off. Okay, what you book is cash account. So when you do an accounting, cash discounts are accounted, trade discounts are not accounted. Okay, Chaliye. So this is very important. So differentiate between cash and trade discount. Let us now move further. The concept of trade discount and cash discounts. So what is a trade discount? Trade discount is typically when the wholesaler is selling to a retailer to earn a better profit, the manufacturer offers them trade discount. So they don't, it's like you are doing a lot of business with me, so I'm giving you a trade discount. And the most important line is the trade discount is not recorded in the books. This is the most important line, So there may be a question in regard to that. That trade discount is recorded, not recorded, recorded in P&L or no, not clear, can be or cannot be, right? So for example, this is an entry here. So when you book the entry, we will book only for this much value, 15,300. We will not book for 17,000. This is what it says. Okay, so for example, there's a sale of 20,000 and there's a 3% discount, which means 600 rupees. So when you book the entry, you book for 19,400 and not 20,000. Okay, so this is how you book the entry. While cash discount is recorded, cash discount, whenever we are given a cash discount. Now, what is cash discount? So when a buyer offers to pay all money in cash, he gets an extra discount. So that kind of recording happens whenever a kind of organization gets cash discount offer. Okay, so this is where the accounting happens. So this is an example here. Now 18,000, there is 2% trade discount, so we'll not record this. We'll record net. So this is how 360. So there is a small mistake here. I think 360 has to be reduced, but they reduced 400. So this is the right entry, 640. So this is wrong entry. So there are small mistakes. Please ignore them. So you book basis this only. Okay. Now we don't record the trade discount, but then he paid 17,440. So that discount has to be paid. Now this is again wrong entry. This has to be on debit side. So 17,440 here and 200 here, and credit is 17,640. So kindly ignore these small mistakes and you can rectify them when you receive your books, or if you have the books, you can rectify them. Okay, are we clear up to now? Any questions, please? So Nirmal is saying all clear, very nice. All okay, can you go ahead? Any questions by anyone up to now? Okay, so since there are no questions, I'm moving forward. Accounting for sales return and allowances. So what happens is that in case you have given a defective material, or when the material was sent, on the way it got damaged, or there is small defect which got unnoticed, but the customer is noticing it, and he is not happy with the product. So what you do is either you take it back, okay, which is sales reversal, or sometimes you give a discount. So either it is a sales return, or the customer says, okay, I'm okay to accept it, but you give me some discount. So that discount is also called as a sales allowance. Okay. So what do we do is when we have booked the invoice, we book a credit note also, because you have to account for it. So whenever so you have to give a credit to him, either for the allowance or for the, for the sales return. So both cases, you will have to prepare a credit note, both cases, right? Now, what happens is when you are making an entry, so since sales return is a reversal of sale, So you will debit it because sales was credited, you will debit here. And since customer was debited on sales, now you will credit him. You're giving him a credit entry. So technically you are actually saying that, yes, I am, booking a sales for you. So this is how I'm making a reversal also, right? So this is a question here. So he purchased for 65,000. So when you book the entry, you book for 65,000. 2 days, so there's a return here. So what we do is we debit sales return and credit the customer so that the balance is payable by Suraksha here. Okay, so sales here and sales returns here, balance is receivable. So we book the credit sales, we book the cash sales, credit notes also, and basis which in case you have frequent sales return, we create a sales return book also. So sales return book, sales book, and customer book also are prepared. Sales allowance is a kind of discount. So whenever we give that, we give a sales allowance. Technically, two separate accounts are opened. One is for return and one is for allowance. So allowance is like a discount and return is like the person has returned the material. Since for us it is an expense, so we debit it. All expenses are debited. Similarly, sales here and sales allowance instead of being a debit separate, we take it as a part of sales because ultimately it is one part only. So we show net of sales. Okay. Now this is one question. Any question here up to now? Ronald is saying all okay. After that, is there any question? Can anyone confirm all okay or clear? Okay, how to Shubham is asking a very good question. How to sales return when there is a tax in sales? So same way you have to reduce it. So for example, if you have sold, let us say 100 rupees, 18 rupees is your GST, you return 20 rupees. So on 20 rupees is let's say 3.6 rupees. So you return, so when you book a entry, you will say GST was 18 minus 3.6 is your whatever is the number will be shown in. So you will show net only. And the best way to book it is to record it monthly. Since you file GST on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis, you should be able to reconcile it. And in case it is done on after the month, then you will have to record it in next month's sales because you will have to show it net of sales. You can't show gross sales. You have to treat it as a sales reduction. Clear? And that is why some time frame is given so that there is no issue in regard to booking of the seat. So Shubham, all okay? Any further questions? Surely, let's move further. So this is an entry of 37,500 to Akash. 8,000 were found to be not of specification. So they allowed a 5,500 sales allowance. So this is how the entry will happen. Again, some small mistakes. This will be debited, so this will come here. sales is credited, this is okay. So of which sales is allowance is 45,500 is given to us. So we'll record it here. Right, so we say that this is the entry here. So we start the entry from here. It is an expense, we debit it and credit to Akash. This is how we book the entry. So how much Akash has to pay is 32,000. Very clear. And so this is how the data will look like. So to balance to sales and then cash or bank or sales return, allowances, bad debts, discounts, balance at the closing. So we'll ask him to pay him this much. So this is a question here. How do you book it? So you book this in the opening balance very clearly. Cash received is a credit here, so we show it as a credit. Debtors closing is also given to us, so we show it here. Returns inward is also here, so we show it here. Okay. Cash sales is 71,000, we will show it here. 71. I don't know why they have shown 94,700. So there is some small mistake here. Bad debts is 3,000, so they will show here. So I think since they had to match, so the cash sales was 71, but since the number was short, so the difference is added here. So then it becomes 94,750, just to make it reconciled. Okay, so if at the end this is reconciled. So the balance, since they have given is as cash sales, so balance will be credit sales. Okay. So total sales is 71, which is cash sales, which is not here. Since it is a customer account, so 94,750 is my credit sales. So my total sales becomes 71 plus 94,750 is 165,750. That is how they are booking it. Clear? Any question? Are you clear of this question? Yep. Cash sales is in cash, so can it? No, it is not. So Shubham, you are right. That is why the cash was not reflected. Only the balance which came, the difference was put in as a part of credit sales. So cash is separate. So that is why at the end there is a note which says that how much is total sales, which is the sum of cash sales and credit sales. So that is why we cannot use the cash sales as a part of my sales account, my debtors account. So the balance is shown. So cash, if we add that, we come to total sales. Clear? Can we move on? Okay, so let's move further. So there can be a bank credit sales also, and sometimes COD happens, like when you ask somebody that I will pay on delivery. So my Amazon sales, you are opt for COD, so they immediately give the material to you, and the moment you receive the material, you transfer by way of e-debit card or cash also. So these are then it money goes to the direct bank. Or similarly now we have Paytm or Google Pay, all these UPI applications also. Similarly, we have Visa card, Mastercards also where the accounting is also booked. Now, whenever there is at the time which is different from the place of sale, these are called as point of sales because here you use the cards or Paytms, right? So when you receive the money, then you book the sales. So who are parties? Number one is the card holder. So let us say a person, card issuing bank. So it's, for example, HDFC card or whatever it is. Then merchant or business house, the party who is accepting the card payment. So let us say you're buying from you're buying from a shopkeeper, which is let us say Amazon or maybe Reliance Retail or maybe a Big Bazaar. So those are the merchants. And then there are the acquiring banks, payment on behalf of the merchant. So let us say a merchant receiving money in his own account, right? So then there is, but then they will charge fees from him. And that is why when you offer to use your credit cards, they say you will charge money because bank will deduct money from us. Okay, so there's a customer, is a merchant, and there's a cardholder's bank, and there is acquiring bank. And this way the transaction happens. So purchase happens, issues the card, swiping happens, it goes with the PIN, it goes to the acquiring bank, then there is an approval, it approves, money is transferred, and then after deducting the charges, the money is paid to person. And then there are benefits also. So there is relief from carrying. So there is a theft, which is a risk which is reduced, right? Misplacements is reduced. It serves as an evidence, which is good. It is a hassle-free, it is good. Okay, so these are the entries. So bank is debited, your service charges are debited, and sales is booked. Okay, so this is an example here. So this much money is received, 1.06 is deducted, so there's expense, and this is a entry of receipt. Okay, so the bank does not round off the figures. So generally, the rounding off, not to round off, also happen. In the exams also, please do not round off. So I think that is for today. We will start the next class from here. This is Vidya. We will start from the next class. Okay, I'll just put a note. We'll start from next class from here. Okay, so if there are questions up to now, please mention them. Otherwise, we can close the session. So if there are no questions, we are closing the session. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.